With us now on the line is Ann Coulter, best-selling author. Her latest book, Resistance is Futile. Ann, I know what you want to talk about. What we're talking about too. What's going to happen with the vagrant mob that's invading the country?
Well, I'm thinking the president should get off Twitter and do something.
Well, I think he's going to make it. I would assume he's going to make an announcement tonight, isn't he? At the rally.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. It reminds me, this is why we wanted a wall, so we don't have to go through this every 3 months and hope it's an election year and hope that President Trump actually will stop the invasion. Trump may not have understood why Build the Wall became the slogan of his campaign, but the people who turned it into the slogan of his campaign wanted the wall for a reason, and we've been seeing it every 3 months since he's been president.
What would you do? I mean, I found something today, a reference on powerlineblog.com that, under Section 9, Article 1 of the Constitution, the president has the right to suspend the writ of habeas corpus in the event of a rebellion or an invasion. I would say this is an invasion, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think any special procedures are necessary. The Constitution also says the president is the commander-in-chief. This is his principal obligation. It isn't to be, making sure Boeing is doing well by selling armaments to Saudi Arabia so that they can attack Yemen. It is to defend the citizens of the United States, to protect our borders. For the first 100 years, that was pretty much what the military did. They built forts along the border. It is to prevent an invasion of our country, not Saudi Arabia or Syria or Afghanistan or Iraq. It's our country. That's the one he's the commander-in-chief of. This has always been preposterous. I knew he'd pull this crap and pretend, my hands are tied, I need Congress. I mean, I admit I can't understand why Republicans in Congress are so incredibly stupid. I can't believe they can even remember to go to the bathroom and feed themselves. Really, really popular issue that your opponents will take the unpopular side on, building the wall. They should be making the Democrats vote on wall funding every week since the Republicans have been in the majority. Let them take that back to the voters. Nope, I decided a wall doesn't work. People are getting a little tired of that argument.
I think the Democrats are pretty fortunate once again that they have the media in their back pocket, because a real free press would be asking the Democrats, well, isn't this, aren't you reaping the whirlwind now? I mean, this is what you've always wanted, and here it is coming right your way in time for the midterms. But they're not. The Democrats are getting a pass on this pretty much.
No, the press is very bad, but the principal advantage the Democratic Party has is the Republican Party. Why on earth would you not have your opponents vote on something this is massively, wildly popular? An utterly implausible reality TV star was just elected President of the United States on the slogan, Build the Wall. We know the voters really, really want this, and we know the Democrats are going to vote against it. Should we keep bringing up bills to make them vote against it? No. Let's push tax cuts and move the embassy. No, they're just beyond redemption. We thought watching the campaign that Trump was something different, but wow, it's been 2 years. Haven't even broken ground on a wall. He's repainted some fences. He better stop the Caravan. There are a million things he can do.
He says he's going to do it. I don't think he's got any choice now, Ann. He let this thing, you're right, he let it get away from him, but now he's got to do something. And again, if he does something, this is going to be like the Cuban Missile Crisis, I think, when JFK, defied expectations and the Democrats did better. Because, this is a more serious matter when you think about it than the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was kind of an overrated emergency when you look back on it. But this,
JFK was totally hoodwinked. It's worth mentioning for historically minded.
But this is
got everything they wanted out of that. We got nothing.
Right, but this is really a clear and present danger to the United States of America. There's no question about it.
It has been for 20 years, and I won't point it out if he stops this particular caravan, and the only reason we seem to think he might do so is that we have an election 10 days away, but we can't count on an election being 10 days away for every day of our lives for the next 40 years. An election, major midterm election, will not always be 10 days away. That's why we wanted a wall. Trump will not always be president. That's why we wanted a wall. It's enraging. And if he stops this caravan, and he better, but it is going to lead to the question, oh, so you can stop a caravan. Why didn't you stop the last 6 caravans?
What would you do, Ann, right now? What would you do if you were the president?
Immediately cut off all aid to these countries. Obviously, I would have done this the first day I was in president, and was baffled that the president did not do so. Start construction on the wall. Start taxing remittances to Mexico and other Latin American countries. And put the military on the border. Just bring them back from Afghanistan. How about that? How about that? We have troops going to Afghanistan next year that weren't born on 9/11. What are we doing there, Howie?
Well, we're trying to prevent the country from being bombed again, but I see your point. I mean, I understand. That's it's more important to defend the southern border. More Americans
have been killed by illegal aliens than were killed on 9/11.
I know. There was just a story today in the New York Post about a drag racer from Colombia got himself killed. He was only doing the drag racing Americans couldn't be bothered doing. That's another one of their great. That's another one of their great sports that they're bringing up from south of the border. And by the way, did you see the pizza delivery man from the Brooklyn Army Yard? Remember that story in the summer? And
yes,
you saw what happened, right?
I had about 1 million people emailing that story to me.
Yes, I'll fill people in case they didn't get the story emailed to them. That good man who was so wrongfully rounded up when he just tried to deliver a pizza to the Army base in Brooklyn. Well, he's in custody again. This time charged with beating up his wife and stealing her cell phone.
We're totally getting their best.
You know, Howie and Ann, when Barack Obama was pushing for gun control, he used to say, it's worth it if it can save just one life. So can we apply that logic to the caravan? Do you think it would save just one life to stop the caravan?
No, our motto is we'd like to save 80,000 lives per year. We have 70,000 per year in America, far more than were killed in the Vietnam War, killed by heroin overdoses every year, and that comes 98% from Mexico. So we're starting right away with, off the top, 70,000 Americans being killed by the fact that we don't have a wall. Throw in the drunk driving accidents, and the Kate Steinle random murders with illegals picking up guns and shooting wildly, because of course that's what you do when you see a gun on the ground. If it saves just 80,000 American lives, how about that? What is that? We have 1,000 9/11s over time, 10,000 9/11s. How many 9/11s do we have to suffer because there's no wall on the border before Trump remembers, number one, he's president, and number two, how he got there?
The Democrats, though, they're not demanding any longer that these people be let in. I mean, Schumer and Pelosi are saying to their candidates, just run away from this issue as best you can.
No, that's why it's crazy for Republicans not to make Democrats vote on this. I mean, not just this. Vote on sanctuary cities. Vote on anchor babies. There's never been an issue so clearly with the American people on one side and, unfortunately, both political parties on the other side of it as immigration. Republicans, at least, when they're running for election, give lip service to being on the public side. Well, if they are, I mean, even if you don't care about America, even if you don't care about dead Americans, which is apparently the position of both the Republican and Democratic Party, if all you care about is winning elections, Make the Democrats vote on sanctuary cities, on a wall, on remittances, on E-Verify. Just make them vote every 10 minutes on this.
What
we
if
wouldn't
the
be looking at Democrats sweeping the House right now if they had done that.
And what would the Democrats be doing if a 7,000-man Russian column was approaching the Bering Straits and was about to cross over into Alaska?
Well, they'd check to see how the Russians planned to vote. If they would still be getting the lion's share of the Russians' vote, they'd be all for it. But yes, there's a risk that they would not. The Russians would not partake of our welfare system with as much gusto as Latin Americans have. So they probably would not be as enthusiastic.
So, Ann, what do you, to change the subject just very briefly here, what do you make of these terrible allegations against Senator Cory Booker?
I get the Spartacus reference now.
Yes, we all remember Peter Graves' famous line in Airplane, "Do you like to watch gladiator movies?" Yes. So,
no, I thought that was odd. That's kind of a standing joke in a lot of movies. It's referenced in Clueless as well. One of my favorite movies, by the way, when Alicia Silverstone is hitting on the new boy in class, and everyone, the viewers, everyone in the movie knows that he's gay except Alicia Silverstone. And among the gags is when he comes over to watch a movie at her house. What does he bring? Spartacus.
you know, Ann, isn't it strange the way the Democrat contenders are going down? Elizabeth Warren, that was a kind of a suicide mission, but Cory Booker, Michael Avenatti, totally busted today by Daily Beast. Do you think this is the Hillary Clinton opening gambit here, taking some of the contenders off the board?
Well, I have to say, little message to Democrats, she did win the popular vote. She could be the first woman president. I wouldn't write off Hillary yet.
You wouldn't? Well, I think she doesn't want to leave the stage. But I'm just saying this kind of this kind of operation. It kind of has a Clinton-esque ring to it, doesn't it? You know, one after another, everybody falling down.
It could be. Kamala, who's the one I have my money on, hasn't fallen yet, and I don't think Pocahontas can blame anyone but herself for commissioning the DNA test, and then, yep, I'm Indian, 1,024th.
Did you hear, Ann, that she referred in the debate Friday night to the town of Bourne, which is a very big town on the Cape, as Burn? She kept calling it Burn. Burn.
So she's not only a fake Indian, she's a fake Massachusetts resident.
Yes. This is after last campaign. She was referring to the west coast of Massachusetts. So the joke now is you take the Burn Bridge to get to the west coast of Massachusetts. And Coulter, let's hope he does the right thing tonight in Houston.
Yes, and the next day when he could start building the wall.
Thank you, Ann Coulter, author of Resistance is Futile. Talk to you next week, Ann. I'm Howie Carr.